I think the problem is that the comic book artists just didn't adapt to the times. And it seems like back in the day, like, sure, you'd be going there for their work, but you're also going there, like, for the artist, for, like, I want their autograph, I want to talk to them and ask them about their craft and whatnot. And, like, I'm not hating on any of that, but I don't think that's enough anymore, is the big thing. It doesn't seem like they're very competitive either. Like, they don't... It's just capitalism, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It always is. You're losing in the market. The anime fans are working the market in a more successful capacity, or even just, like, the independent artists that aren't, like, doing animation. And it seems like they're just kind of like a remnant of a bygone past. You know what I noticed? So I went to Emerald City Comic Con some days ago. Holy shit, finally a full house. Very nice. I think I've been to a Comic Con one time before, but it was a long time ago. I think it was in New Jersey. Nothing really to write home about. This is insane. I will take a 5 of diamonds that's molted and foiled. Whatever. But yeah, I don't remember much about it either. The only other cons of a similar type is that I've been to is Sakura Con, which is a Seattle-based con that is based around anime and comics and all. It's essentially Comic-Con, but Seattle-specific because of the Sakura blooms that happen and yada, yada, yada. It's coming up, too. But the interesting thing about Comic-Con this year was that there were, like, actual comic artists there. Like, not just anime shit. And there were at Sakura Con, too, but, like, that's kind of the point. And was the point of Comic-Con for a while. And this is the first time I'd ever seen, like, oh, here's the artist for Spider-Man volumes 7 through 9. Secondary alternate universe Spider-Man who's actually in a wheelchair. And that's the guy, and he's there. And you can, like, get his autograph and talk to him and buy his shit. And, like, that could be cool. And I could imagine that's what people were doing Comic-Con for. Was, like, literally, that's why it's called Comic-Con. Comics. Anyway, so it was interesting to see, like, you have, like, these fan artists that are drawing, like, big muscular dudes with very obvious bulges. Like, in a manga style. And it's, like, it's for gay men. Or, you know, sometimes, should they exist, like, straight women or whatever. Anybody who's interested in, like, big masculine men. And then next to that person, next to that booth, and, like, that booth is, like, pretty done up. Like, they've got their stands up that have, like, the prints on the wall, and they got, like, keychains and other kind of stuff. And then next to them is, like, the artist for Batman, The Dark Origins, volumes 3 through 8. And he's just got, like, a regular-ass table with, like, a couple comics on it, and, like, the name of the artist there, Joe Spider-Man, or Batman, or whatever. And, like, it's, for one, like, it's already interesting that you have, like, this very horny art. And that's not all that's what's there. Like, there's a lot of really pretty art. I actually got a really cool one. Among others, I also got this, up here, there's that little Kim Kitsuragi standee, acrylic stand, from an artist that I got, because I love Kim Kitsuragi from Disco Elysium. And I also got this nice print. I've never seen a Metal Gear Solid print at any of these cons, so I had to get it, because Metal Gear Solid is a game that's near and dear to my heart. Specifically, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, and Snake Eater. I have played Metal Gear Solid. I haven't played 4 or 5. But yeah, it's a cute art style. I like that. I thought, you know, why not? I like to support the artist. I still gotta get a frame for it, of course. I'm just getting trolled, man. What is this? We could throw a straight out there, I guess. It's not ideal. Anyway. The hell was I talking about? Yeah, so, like, there's a lot of cool shit there as well. But anyway, it's just funny to see him next to that. And, like, the booth that is, like, having anime shit and fan art and OCs and whatnot, be it, you know, lurid images of big muscly men or, like, well-endowed women, they're getting, like, a lot more interest. And, like, the other niche things, like, you know, people that are, like, doing leather working, and they, like, make things for D&D and yada, yada, yada. These are getting a lot more play, and, like, the comic book artists are, like, just kind of there, not really getting that much interest. And it's interesting because, like, that's what Comic-Con used to be, right? Like, that's my understanding. Is that it was, like, it was comic artists that's what you went there for, and that's what you got, and it was quite good. But they kind of lost. It seems like the okay, we're just getting trolled here. This is not good. Alert, alert. This is not good. It seems like the comic side of things is just not really there, to the point where like it might as well be like manga con at this point. Anime con. Like they had Chris Evans there of Marvel fame apparently. I don't know who he is in those films, so I don't watch any of them because I don't like them. Like the idea for like cape shit. But like it's just interesting that they lost to fucking manga artists. He's Captain America? Wow. Who cares? Or we might just die here because like I need like a good hand and I'm not getting it. We're fine. This 2 pair should save us. Maybe. Yeah, we're fine. Totally fine. Don't even look at that. Totally fine. Don't even worry about it. We tried to transition to the full house deck. It didn't work out. We didn't get enough deck fixing was the main thing. But you know, it seems like, and I was thinking like they didn't. I think the problem is that the comic book artists just didn't adapt to the times. Like, even their like stands are just like boring. Like it's just them and like some assorted like comic books, and like the point of going to the stand is them, right? And that's fine and fair. But like all these other stands of like independent artists and shit, like the stand is there for them as well, but it's mostly their work. Like in a lot of these stands, there is so much of their work spread apart that like you're only able to see like this much of their face behind it all, you know? Which is 1, funny and cozy, and 2, kind of cute, and 3, kind of inconvenient. But anyway, and like, but you're going there for their work. And it seems like back in the day, like, sure, you'd be going there for their work, but you're also going there, like, for the artist, for, like, I want their autograph, I want to talk to them and ask them about their craft and whatnot. And, like, I'm not hating on any of that. But I don't think that's enough anymore, is the big thing. If, like, and it doesn't seem like they're very competitive either. Like, they don't, it's just capitalism, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It always is. You're losing in the market. It's a shame, but like they're literally losing in the market. Like the anime fans are working the market in a more successful capacity, or even just like the independent artists that aren't like doing anime shit. And it seems like they're just kind of like a remnant of a bygone past, which is kind of sad. Because like I think like I'm not trying to shit on them too much. It might sound like I am, but like this is also a constructive criticism. Like if you want to perform better at the cons and not have a terrible time, because they usually don't look like they're having a great time. I shouldn't say usually, but a lot of them don't. So I don't know. I feel like they're losing in the market. It's like a survivor. It's like an adapt or die kind of situation, and it seems like they've kind of just chosen die. And I'm not trying to generalize too much, because there are like comic book artists that are there, like that are trying hard. Like I saw them. Hell yeah. I still don't have an interest in like what they're doing because I'm not a big fan of Western comics. I don't even read manga, but I do like the art. I like looking at it on, you know, on my Twitter feed. There are a lot of artists I follow, yada, yada, yada. So like, it's unfortunate. And it's, you know, it's just I don't know. It seems like a symptom of a broader problem that they're just not really addressing. And it's also kind of just funny to see like, here's the independent artist that literally specializes in muscle mommies. And here's like oil dripping down the washboard abs of your favorite anime girl made into like a big muscular woman. And like that's just getting a lot more play and interest than like what the con idea was like based around, which was like Western comics. But I think there's an argument to be made, and there's a lot of bad shit that goes on in the manga. There's a lot of bad shit in both industries, I'm sure, and we can get into like some of the problems in the Western comic industry as well, and a lot of that is symptomatic of like corporate influence and the need to make money and yada yada yada. But like in my experience, it seems like mangakas are like just generally more interested in what they're doing. Like, cause like you'll have like the Berserk mangaka, or like Junji Ito, or like Togashi, I think his name. Who's the Hunter x Hunter mangaka? It is Togashi. I'm huge. My brain is large. Or like Togashi, and it's like it's just one dude who just does, or like Oda from for One Piece. It's just like one person that like started it in like their one-room shack that they were living in, and is like their passion project that I eventually like parlayed into a living. And like there's a lot of really bad labor practices and whatnots when mangakas like get picked up by larger outfits, distribution platforms, etc., or studios, and that's all shit, and I don't like it. And even if like you're trying to be independent, like that's also grueling work to try to make something happen. But like it seems to produce a better product, and in my opinion, I just prefer the art style that's found in a lot of mangaka, or in a lot of manga rather, compared to like Western comics. It's kind of like the same problem that like that animation catered to adults on TV in the West has when it as you know, compared to anime catered to adults or young adults in like Japan or whatever. Because like you'll have like on the one side you'll have like Family Guy, The Simpsons, and it's all like puppeteering essentially. Like you have like the character, and they're very simplified characters, and you just like puppet the mouths and the arms around and whatnot. And then on the other hand, you have like, for like one example, it is a show, it's a shonen, so it's like it's all ages, but it has like a kind of focus on like boys and like young adult like men usually, but it's essentially all ages. And like the difference between the amount of respect for the medium of animation between those two is like it's incalculable. Like it's exponential. I think it's just like culturally speaking, Japan just has cared more about the art of making comics and developing a certain like style that people have come accustomed to, and it's just a lot better. And then when that gets converted into anime, ideally by like a good studio, and once again the labor situations for these things are fucked, but like they put more care into the animation at that point as well, and it's like a higher level of interest and a more difficult art style to like make animated because it's more detailed, but like they make it happen, and it's like some of the best art you'll ever see, like Evangelion, like Akira, like Ghost in the Shell, even the Studio Ghibli films. Like it's spectacular. Whereas all of the Western animation, like in the very popular stuff, like even for movies like of some I've just listed, you have like 3D that's less money on labor. It takes less like specific, not that it takes no skill, but like less specific skill when it comes to illustration, because it's 3D and you're using models and rigs and whatnot, and you're moving around like puppeteering them, which is fine. Like I'm not talking shit, because there's some good shit that's in that medium as well. But it's just a difference of level of respect, because like even like bullshit ass Illumination projects or whatever are like, they're just pumped out like a machine, because the point is to make money. It's not to make good art. I'm not like saying anything groundbreaking or new here, I don't think. These choices are so bad. Anyway, it's hard for me to play this game and talk about this shit at the same time, but I know it's interesting. And it's a shame, because like there is a lot of good Western animation and comics out there. It's just that they're kind of like behind the times. Like culturally speaking, the West hasn't really caught up to like Japan and whatnot. American manga sold to billion-dollar toy sellers. Underground American comic writers don't justify convention. I think a lot of it is with Marvel DC, is it's basically the same IPs constantly being recycled / rebooted. Not a lot of space for new or original characters. Yeah, like is there an MCU in like anime or manga. Like, there isn't necessarily, but like there are like tropes and like go-to easy cash grabs and shit. But there's not like a constant remaking of the same IP in a different way over and over. A lot of the time it's like new projects, and maybe the ideas are very similar to others, and maybe it's not executed well or whatever, but like it's got a little bit of new blood in it, kind of, even at its worst. And like, I think that was another thing I was thinking about too. It's like it's super oversaturated as well. When it comes to like cape shit and whatnot, especially in like mainstream media. Oh, I forgot I'm not going for 3 of a kind. That's what I was going for this whole time, my bad. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna read comments about like Batman, Spider-Man or whatever, if it's like constantly being crammed into my eyelids underneath them, even if I try to close them, by there literally always being a new Marvel project in the works and being advertised. Because, like, it was once a passion project of a bunch of nerdy-ass motherfuckers who just, like, wanted to make some art and tell a story. And they just happened to find superheroes to be cool. And now it's become, like, a way for motherfuckers to make money. And, like, they were trying to make money, too, before, but, like, it's kind of just for that now. And that sucks. And it just completely sucks the life out of the industry itself, it would seem. I think that is definitely part of why, like, the comic side of things is lost in the cons and whatnot. Typically a single author's vision rather than a corporate IP like Spider-Man, Superman, Batman. Yeah, that's a problem too. I've heard other people talk about this. Where, like, there's, like, a whole team of people behind, like, a new Spider-Man project. And it's so many people, like, so many people's there's so many cooks in the kitchen. So it's hard to, like, have it be super personalized, and it starts feeling very corporate and depersonalized. And the fact that, like, Miura, it was, like, the only person working on Berserk, and it's his vision, and it's his, like, a baby, essentially, that he's trying to nurture into, like, a full piece of art and experience. Or, like, Togashi with Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho, or Oda with One Piece, etc. There's just more soul in the art. And people can pick up on that. People can recognize it. And they can tell when the opposite is happening. Closest I can think of is Boruto continuing after Naruto for like an NCU type thing. Yeah, and that's, you know... I have nostalgia for Naruto because... This is such a bad run. I feel like I should just re-roll it. But I'm gonna re-roll it. Fuck this shit. I'm not even paying attention anyway. Like, I have nostalgia for Naruto because it's the first ever anime I ever watched. But it's fine. You know, it's an anime. It exists. So, like, the fact that Boruto came afterward, like, Naruto was pushed heavily as, like, a product to be consumed. So, like, I don't know. The equivalency there is a bit difficult to make, in my opinion. Of course, we get the 2. That's fine. But, I mean, this is not to, like, say that anime and manga is God's gift from Earth and it's always good, because there's a lot of garbage out there. There's a lot of trash out there when it comes to anime and manga. Just scroll through Crunchyroll and see what people are watching, and goddamn, that shit is ass. But there's a lot of good stuff out there too, and the best of the best is just like leagues better than what the West is doing. So this is a long-winded way of saying the West has fallen, essentially. 10s and 4s, we get some shit, or we get like flat mult early on. I think flat mult early on is probably better. I think I may not have watched Naruto growing up because the onslaught of tons of ads. Yeah, the only reason I watched it is because it was on Nintendo. Not even Toonami. It was on Nintendo during the day. Same with One Piece. I actually built up a resentment to One Piece, funnily enough, now that I've watched 570 episodes of it in the modern day. But like Naruto would come on, and then One Piece would come on after it. And I would always be mad when One Piece would start because I would want more Naruto. Like, give me another episode of Naruto, please. Back when, you know, video on demand wasn't really a thing you were getting, and you just had to go by the whims of the television executives who made the schedules or whatever. Like, I just wanted another episode of Naruto, but One Piece would come on, and I'm like, fuck this show. It's not what I want. And I think that was funny. Very irrational, but I was a kid, so, you know. But yeah, I don't know. The West always has seen animation as the domain for kids. And it hasn't fully grown out of that yet. Because, like, there's animation being made that is targeted for kids in Japan and whatnot. But they have had a respect for animated media and, like, drawn media when it comes to, like, comics, manga. When it comes to, like, all ages entertainment or even for adults, like Berserk. That the West just hasn't caught up to yet. Because, like, a lot of, like, if you're, like, into cartoons, it's kind of the same with how video games were at one point. Like, if you're into cartoons, like, you're looked at less seriously. You're seen as, like, a loser or a nerd, you know? And that kind of disrespect that the medium gets definitely makes people, one, not as interested in, like, being an avid fan of it, and two, moneyed investors wanting to put their money into a project, you know? Rather just pump out another live-action Marvel cookie-cutter project, you know? The video games have first had more and had more indie works that could be spread around. Yeah, there's a lot of indie works when it comes to, like, webcomics and stuff like that, too, but it's not as accessible. Like, video games are more accessible than, like, webcomics and stuff because, like, it's interactive, it's more engaging, stuff like that. Especially, yeah, these days. I'm not reading webcomics, that's for goddamn sure. It's not a knock against them, it's just not something I do. The classic Marvel DC stories that have already been told, and there's so much established lore and canon that there's not much a new author can do with the characters. I think Western IPs are kind of stuck in being easily recognizable to mass audiences. That makes sense. Yeah. And you still get, like, wonderful pieces of work like the Spider-Verse series, Into and Across the, that are, like, exceptional, that break the mold on the very stagnant superhero media market. And surprise, surprise, one, it's animated, and two, it's stylized to hell. It's not just, like, Illumination 3D model shit like Despicable Me #9. And it's an absolute hit. At the time, the big three was Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. Yeah, I kind of slept on Bleach. Maybe I'll watch it one day. But I know I had one manga volume of it that I got from a bookstore that I read, but I mean, getting the rest of the volumes was going to be difficult for a young me. So I should have done something with these tarot cards. Fuck. I really like the Bleach manga. I stopped reading right at the final arc. I never came back. Well, must not have been too good, huh? I do like when the face cards go ham. I'll get that. Maybe we can make it work. Right now, it's kind of useless. Gives us extra chips, though. And if we could put these on face cards, that's pretty good. I would like to level up Full House, but I want to be able to make a little bit of money. I think we make this lucky card. We make these two molted because they're gonna re-trigger, and then we get money. We get money, get paid. But I don't know. It was, you know, it was an experience. I enjoyed Emerald City Comic Con. My legs were broken at the end because of so much walking. I was tracking it the whole time, the activity, and it was like almost 11,000 steps over the course of, I don't know, we were there for like 7 hours. It's a lot of steps. Like a Steel Queen. Bleach Creator is fun. Every new arc is like a fashion show for all the characters. That seems fun. That's another thing. Like it's like character design is like very, very poggers. In like anime and manga. Like a lot of the times it can be cringe, but like also a lot of the times like it could hit. Like Jujutsu Kaisen is playing into a lot of like streetwear aesthetics because that's very popular right now and it's a modern anime. And it's getting rewarded handsomely. Because not only like is it popular fashion for people to wear, the character art design is pretty good in my opinion. Can't believe we didn't get 20 bucks off that. And like at a certain point, like that ends up lending itself to longer cultural relevance. Especially for, like, cosplayers and whatnot. Because, like, closet cosplays for that kind of style is a lot easier. This is not necessarily, like, a consideration they're making, but... playing into, like, the popular fashion of the time, it might not have, like, a long-term appeal for that specific element. I think even if, you know, streetwear and techwear type shit moves on and people don't, care about it anymore. And you know, in the infinite and never-ending cycle of fashion interests. In the broader zeitgeist. Even if that, like, falls off, the show will still slap. Speaking of bad labor practices and overworked people, holy shit. Jujutsu Kaisen, there's, like, insane shit going on at all times, like an absolute spectacle of animation, and a testament to, like, the power of humans to create incredible art, but they are not getting a fair shake when it comes to the goddamn work hours and the conditions. Goddamn. It sucks. And, you know, it's something, you know, that we would hope to fight for, a better world for them as well, so. I mean, I advocate for it, and there's only so much I can do, but... Bleach's creator has admitted that he deals with the writer's block by inventing new characters for the story. That's fair, yeah. And, like, I don't know, people can cosplay, like, comic book characters, and they do. Or, you know, other animation characters from, like, Western IPs. But the industry for cosplay is very obviously oriented around anime. Like, even fighting games, like Guilty Gear Strive, or the new Tekken, or the new Street Fighter, are, like, putting their characters in, like, sick-ass outfits. That, like, not only would people want to look like, they might even cosplay. I don't know, it just lends itself to, like, cultural impact outside of the specific medium that keeps its lifeblood in, like, the broader, you know, pool of interest in society, I guess. But like people will cosplay as fucking Peter Griffin from Family Guy, but like, it's usually a meme. There are other ones too, like, I don't know. It's a shame. Uber. What if I just yoinked you off the ground, little man, and showed you to find people watching? I've got two little boys. Look at this little thing. Love this man. Ew! Who's that? I pet Artemy with my foot because I'm allergic to him because he has fur. This guy I'm not as allergic to because he has different fur. He's a Devon Rex. I'm still allergic to like his saliva, which is on his fur because he, you know, he cleans himself. But it's not as bad, and it doesn't get all over my clothing as much as, you know, standard cat hair does. Artemy. Both of them aren't getting in here, unfortunately. He's so cute. He's so good too. Look at him. He's hanging out. Oh, onto my chair he goes. Fat boy. What are you doing, man? He smells good. I don't know why, but like he smells good. I don't like he kind of smells like a candle right now. I don't know why. Like he's weird. Abnormal. Get down. Get down then. Oh, his foot was inside my sleeve, so he was a little fucked up. He didn't know what to do because his foot was in here.